Hey everyone, it is Sarah, and this week I'm in Medellin, Colombia, hence the look. And one of the experiences I'm going to be showing you is this epic coffee tour, but let's get into that a little bit later because there is so much more to do here. I'll see you at our first location. But before I get into my guide, I have a few tips on visiting Medellin, which are: number one, you definitely do not need to rent a car here. There are tons of taxis. Uber is not very reliable. It's also illegal, so taxis is the way to go. Make sure that you take cash out to use those. Number two, there are tons of tour companies to use here, and I definitely recommend you do so. But I actually have been using this one that I found in my Airbnb drawer, and it's called Know the City, and I'm so glad that I found these guys because they make traveling to Medellin so simple. These guides are free. You can find them in a lot of hostels, restaurants, bars, and they also have a digital version online. So I'll link that below. You can check out their site with the guide in it. You can also book all of their tours right on the site. Most of the experiences that I'll be showing in this video are from Know the City, actually, because they made it so simple. And this is not an ad. So before you start saying it's an ad, it's not an ad. I actually found them in my Airbnb drawer. So check that out. It's linked below. Now let's get to number three, which is knowing Spanish is very helpful here. Even if you know a little bit, the locals appreciate you trying. Many of them do not speak English, but if you do have a guide like Know the City, they will have English-speaking guides, which makes your trip way easier. And number four, if you're here for more than a week, then I recommend getting a local SIM card. It will make traveling a lot easier. The best local cell phone provider is Claro. They have the best coverage in this area. And it will save you a lot of money. And if you're coming from the US, you need to make sure that your phone is unlocked in order to put their SIM card in it. Now that I gave you my top tips, let's hop to our guide. Colombia is one of the #1 coffee producers in the world, and one of the unique experiences that you can do while you're here is take a trip 45 minutes outside of Medellin to a real coffee farm. What I think is really interesting is that they let you dress up in the traditional clothes that people used to wear. This is a little poncho which had many uses. You have your little basket here, that's where you put the coffee fruit in, and I just pick it off the tree exactly like this. Some of the beans. Well, the fruit, really. The fruit is filled with antioxidants, and you can actually just eat these just like this. So I found a really big coffee bean. Oh my God, look at it. All right, so I just picked my berries. So this machine here separates it. So on one side, you put it in the top, one side the seeds go, one side, well, the beans go, one side the rinds of the fruit go. So here's all my beans. So next they would lay the coffee on rooftops or anything that has direct sunlight for a lot of time to dry it, and you can see it here. So it has to be in the sun for about 20 days before they can actually use it to make real coffee, the drink. Yeah. I think the real champ of this tour is the cat. The real reason I'm recording here is because this is what they use to move the coffee around so it dries evenly. But the cat helps a lot. All right, we've reached the end of the tour, but first, feed your stomach. We got some delicious coffee. This is actually brewed with milk. It's very creamy, really tasty. Then we have some paisa limonada. For our meal, we have fiambre paisa, which is wrapped like a little present. So let's open it, because inside we have a delicious combination. We got some rice, egg, sausage, plátano, and shredded beef. I'm gonna go and add some hot sauce on this, but this is a very traditional thing to have here, especially after a long day of picking coffee, because it's very filling. So I'm going to enjoy, and I'll see you at the next thing to do in Medellin. Eres perfecta mujer, de la cabeza a los pies. Colombia is one of the biggest exporters of flowers in the world. They export over 1 million flowers to the US just on Valentine's Day. And one of the cool things to do here is go visit a flower farm, and you get paired with a farmer and they show you how to make these beautiful silletas, which is actually a very traditional thing because they have a parade of silletas, which is called Desfile de Silleteros, and that is the first Sunday in August. So if you're here in August, that might be something to look at when you're here in Medellin. But a little tip, it is chilly up here, so make sure you wear warm clothes, and it's totally worth it. It's unlike anything you can really see in most countries. I'm not aware of other countries that do this, and I've been to quite a few. So very unique thing to do here in Colombia. One of the day trips you can do with Know the City is to this insane place. It's called Guava Bay, and they're known for this rock formation. You can actually climb to the top of it. Now, of course, when you see this rock, you wonder, how was something like this naturally formed? It looks absolutely out of this world. This rock was actually placed here by tectonic plates, and then the land around it eroded, revealing this insane formation. Let's go climb to the top, because that's something you can do. You see that staircase? Talk about a cardio workout. I'm gonna attempt it. I'll see you at the top. The day starts with us getting on a boat on the Represa Peñol Lake, which actually was covering an old town that's now on top of a hill. So there's a little history here, and you get to see some cool sights like some run-down buildings from prominent drug lords and learn about the history. It's pretty cool. Once you get off the boat, you're here on this island that was once owned by a prominent drug dealer, but you get to tour his old houses, which were bombed by a different cartel, and it's in a state of complete chaos, as you can see from my surroundings. It's really fascinating just to walk through what was once part of history. I'm here in Guatapé with my new friend. He's so cute. Anyway, this is a cute little town. It's known for this giant rock, but I wanted to show you. These are called zócalos, and this is one of the things this town is known for. All of these art forms, they're all over a lot of the buildings, and they represent different parts of the town. It's very colorful here. There's a lot of restaurants, bars, artwork. It's a fun place to just take a walk around and explore before you go and climb the iconic rock, which we're gonna do next.
So I definitely recommend bringing closed-toed shoes because the water from the mountain is dripping all over the stairs and it's really wet. I'm wearing sandals. Not the best choice.
Just made it to the top. My goodness, what a workout. But if you're like in decent shape, you can do it in about 10 to 15 minutes. A lot of people take as much as an hour though, because it's kind of cool to just enjoy the view as you go up. But this view is insane. And if you want to enjoy it even more, you can actually have beers right on the top here. So talk about a drink with a view. This is the ultimate view right here. Pretty incredible. For the ultimate cocktail, come here to Old Tom's Gin Palace. This place is really special because it describes a point in English history that is often not talked about. It's when gin was illegal in the 1600s to the 1900s. And this is because they didn't know how to distill gin properly, so there was a lot of deaths. But people loved it, so they didn't want to give it up. And one of the ways they did that was by going to a picture frame that looks like a cat in a bar and putting a coin in it. They would get a shot of gin this way, and behind that wall is actually a bathtub like this one right here. So this bar kind of talks about the history of that, but they also have some killer cocktails. So I'm gonna order one of their signature cocktails, which is featuring the one and only bathtub. This one's called the Gin Bathtub, and it's pretty epic. The process involves using a bubble machine. I've never seen this in a bar, but they have tons of other cocktails that are really special as well. But let's go get the Gin Bathtub right now. be one of the most unique cocktails I have ever seen in my life, and I've seen a lot of cocktails. So what I really love about this is just the amount of thought that went into it. Of course, the bathtub represents that time in English history where it was prohibition for gin, and they used to make the gin in the bathtub. But then they also added a little rubber ducky, which is edible, by the way. It's made with fondant, so you can eat that. And the bubbles are made from chamomile and green tea syrup, so those are edible as well. Now, the way you drink out of a bathtub, I have learned, is you literally just put your mouth right on this part. Unbelievable. It's like sweet, it has a nice gin undertone, it's a bathtub. I mean, I can just appreciate a good cocktail, but a good cocktail with a good presentation, now that's a proper drink right there. If you're looking for a fun place to hang out and party, then come to La Octava. This place isn't a club, it's not quite that level of partying, but they have a ball pit in the bar. It's like the coolest thing I've ever seen. This place also serves pretty decent cocktails for a standard bar. They also have rum, gin, mezcal, my favorite, and craft beer. The party really starts like getting going around midnight here. So kind of what you do here is you're already drinking, you get your drink from the bar, you're hanging with friends, and then y'all go to this ball pit right here. It's like the best part of this bar experience. So you can literally just come chill in here. I just have never seen a bar like this, so if anyone knows of a bar anywhere else in the world that is this freaking fun, just tell me. One of the most iconic things to do here is go on a Comuna 13 tour. On this tour, you'll see the difficult times that the city had, but also the transformation that's occurring. And you'll see how hip hop and art has really been a sign of resistance and resilience to the war that's happening here. There's so much beautiful art. You can buy some of it, but this is, I think the best part about this is you do learn about the history of the city in addition to enjoying the gorgeous surroundings. It's the most cultured area in the city that I've seen so far.
One of the awesome things you can do here is you can go to a local football game, and for those Americans out there, it's a soccer game.
Truly, it's going to be a very sunny day in Medellin.
Yeah.
So I recommend to have a michelada, which is a beer with lime and salt.
Yeah, and I don't even like beer. This is delicious. We're having a local meal right now. I got some carne asada, but the real deal is the bandeja paisa, which is this masterpiece. Nuts. Okay, what we got here is called aguardiente.
Or as we call it in Colombia, guado.
Guado. This is like traditionally what you drink all the time pretty much, right?
Yeah. If you're sad, drink guado. If you're happy, drink guado.
Tasted like licorice. It's actually not too bad.
Somos del sur presente siempre.
Ay, ay, ay. Oh my god, this is crazy. They're like exploding fireworks. Yeah. Salud.
If you're an adventure lover, come here to Parque RV, where you can take a beautiful gondola ride up to the top of the mountain. It takes about an hour from the city center. But what I find most surprising about this place is from the outside it kind of seems like it's just a park for hiking and nature lovers and things like that, which it is. But it's so much more than that. It's a little town on top of the mountain, so you can actually dine here. There's restaurants, there's markets, there's even like historical things to learn, kind of like museums. So you can easily spend the whole day here. In fact, I encourage you to do so because there are tons of things to do here in Parque RV, including boating, hiking, horseback riding, and a lot more. Right outside the gondolas, you'll find a local market, and here they're selling tons of stuff. But my favorite part is the food. Everything's made by locals, and I got the strawberries and cream, and they made the cream here fresh. You can tell. They also have empanadas and then traditional craft items like clothing and other fun stuff. So they have some good souvenirs here, and this is all made by people here. So if you're buying stuff from here, you're supporting the local community, which is always a nice thing. If you want to do a picnic here, you can grab the food and then go to like a more private area to have a picnic, which I think could be really fun here. If you're a budget traveler, you should go on a tour with Real City Tours. I just went on this tour, and they offer a free one of the city center, which talks about the history of the city, the history of the country, but also shows you some of the sites that you can see here in the city center, such as this one. This is Botero Square, and here you're going to see original pieces by Fernando Botero scattered all over it. There's also tons of other beautiful sites during this tour, including the old railway station, the Square of Lights, Palacio Nacional, and tons of others. Make sure that you sign up 36 hours in advance because these tours can get full because they're free. Now, I definitely encourage tipping at the end because since this tour is free, you do want to give back, thank your guide. It's a great experience. Prepare. It's 4 hours long, a lot of walking, but totally worth it, especially if you don't have that much time to see Medellin. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, remember to subscribe, follow me on Instagram at SarahFunky, and watch my other travel videos. I have tons of them. I'll see you next time.